and welcome to my channel, Inspiring Life Changes. Welcome back to those of you who've been here before, and welcome to those of you who haven't been here before but have come across to see what it's all about. Thank you very much for clicking on play to come and see. My name is Colette, and the reading that I'm doing today is for Libra 2022. I know it's a bit late. I've been having problems with various different situations that have been taking place in my life, so everything has kind of been put back. I was intending to do this before the Christmas period, but it's kind of run further and further into 2022, so I am going to continue doing them, continue putting them out. So this is for Libra who are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. If you don't know where your placements are for those particular signs or aspects, then you can check out the link in the description box down below for you to go and see for yourself. If you don't already have your own birth chart, then it's worth getting a free one because it is a free link, and you can then check up on the astrology and the planets as they're connecting with your own natal birth chart. So all you need is your time of birth, date of birth and place of birth for that to take place. And so Libra, I've set the cards out as a clock, so each number represents a month of the year, and I'm using 3 separate decks, so you'll see 3 different decks being used in your reading today. There's one set that's just for major arcanas, and then there's another one that I'm using for the minor arcana, and then the last one that I'm going to be using is for the confirmation of those energies. So let's start with the January energy. I know January's passed, but I'm just going to give you a quick brief rundown. So you have the Lovers in reverse here. So this can talk about a decision. This can be to do with your own, like how you view yourself as well, because the person who we choose to have a relationship with represents a part of ourselves as well. It's like we see ourselves in that other person. But being in the reverse situation or position here, it feels as though something didn't go to plan, because we have the 7 of air here as well. And the 7 of air, or 7 of swords, can be a kind of deceptive energy, an energy that's not necessarily all it seems to be. There can be some hidden elements in the 7 of air. It can be deception. Can even be lying, cheating, keeping things to yourself, or the other person could have done that. But there seems to have been some disruptive element that has upset this energy with the Lovers cards here. So let's do a quick confirmation on those energies for you there, Libra, and see what the cards would like to say. For January, we have 3 cards come out. Okay, so messages, the Devil and the 2 of Wands. So this is kind of saying to me that something has come in, some message, you've heard something which could have something to do with this 7 of Swords here as well, because there's a lot of, this can be to do with gossip as well. I kind of see this as a gossip card as well, hearing something kind of like on the grapevine or on the wind, or like, you know, the birds kind of telling you, a little birdie told me kind of feeling about this card. And so the messages came in, and with the Devil card here as well in reverse, it kind of feels as though there was something unpleasant. It revealed something unpleasant. It revealed something about this person that you may not have been aware of previously, Libra. But it could have also brought up a lot of your own fears here as well. But then we also have the Two of Wands here as to go with this as well. So the Two of Wands here for me is saying that you're looking for a new path, or you did look for a new path, but you chose to kind of take this as a, literally as a message, as a sign that something needed to change. And so it was possibly a reluctant situation, something that you didn't particularly want to have to do, but you felt as though you needed to do with this Two of Wands in reverse. You needed to, yeah, find a new destination, a new path, because we've also got the roses there as well. But it's upside down. The whole thing is in reverse. And so we've got the two of batons that are crossed over down there as well. And the roses are really sticking out for me at the moment. I'm really seeing the red roses coming through quite strongly. So it does feel as though this was something to do with a lover, a situation. Somebody that you had deep feelings for. Possibly somebody who you'd been, for some of you, been with for some time. But of course roses do have thorns as well, so it does feel as though there was something that kind of came out to... So I'm shuffling those cards before I move on to February. Yeah, something that kind of brought something to the surface here. A thorn in the side maybe, something that needed to be dealt with. But I feel as though you've kind of walked away from that situation, Libra. Because we have the Death card and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Sorry about the lighting. I'm doing this during the daytime rather than, I usually do it when it's darker and have different lighting, but today I'm doing it slightly earlier than normal. So we have the Death card, which is upright, and that is kind of saying to me that something has come to an ending. But at the same time, you yourself are going through a transformation here, Libra. There's a deep transformational event happening for you right here. And of course, those Libras that are in the later stage of the sign, around about the 23 to kind of almost the end, the 0 point of the next sign, particularly cusp Libras as well, you are going to be squaring that Pluto energy at this time. Pluto is about 27 degrees, and of course Pluto's just having his Pluto return as well. So if this is squaring your energy, Pluto's squaring your energy, which is represented by the Death card, transformation, you are going to be going through some big inner changes, which you will get to see outwardly. But at the moment with the Justice card, not the Justice card, sorry, the Wheel of Fortune card, I don't know why I said the Justice card, probably because it's related to the Libra energy in many ways, even though I personally see it more as a Gemini energy. I actually see the Lovers card more as the Libra energy, because Libra rules relationships. So I see that more as your energy, Libra. But this is kind of saying to me that there is going to be this shift of energy. It's not happening consciously, shall we say. It's not something that you're aware of on that level. It's not something that you're deliberately trying to make happen. But it's happening nonetheless. And there may be some resistance to it, because the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse. And you had two cards that came out with this. So we have the Ten of Fire with the Death card, which kind of resembles in some ways that cycle of energy here as well that's being played out here, because there she's kind of standing in this cycle, circle of these flaming pieces of paper, which are kind of, for me, it's all that past energy. Usually the 10 of Wands, of course, is depicted with 10 batons or 10 wands, and somebody's kind of trying to push them up a hill or push them in front of them so they can't see what's coming at them. But in this card, it's kind of saying that she's searching for the reason as to why all this has happened. It's like looking on a deeper level. It's like trying to solve the problem, trying to solve what the issue is. Where did it start? What was the beginning? What did I miss? That's the kind of energy that's coming through for me with this 10 of Fire. But as you're doing that at the same time, Libra, as you're doing that, because you've got this Death card, there is also this sense of kind of like, just that's it, that's it, that's kind of, I've done that, that's my past, I'm letting that go. But there is still this kind of inner searching. So it's kind of like going over the same ground in a way. And then we have, with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the 4 of Water. And the 4 of Water is a card of, it's a card of sorrow, disappointment. It's a card of being offered something as well, and not necessarily knowing whether or not you want to take what's being offered. Because here she's holding out this pearl, when the pearls in this deck represent cups. So also for me, this particular card often looks like a fortune teller, like somebody who's got knowledge, and that could also have something to do with this energy here, like somebody who has answers, or you're seeking answers. You could be going to people who have that ability on a psychic level as well, because water, emotions can represent that psychic realm, the watery depths. But it just feels as though there's something that you feel that you need to know, that you want to know, that you want an answer for. But again, because they're both in reverse, it feels like there is this reluctance to actually accept maybe what's on offer, or what you're being told, the kind of information you're being given even. So let's see what we have for the confirmation energy here in February. Things are changing and they are shifting, but it's happening really slow. Possibly too slowly for you, Libra. You might want it to be a lot quicker. But the Wheel of Fortune only shifts when you shift. It's like when you solve this problem or this issue, or kind of change something within yourself, with this transformational Death card here as well. When you resolve something within yourself, then the Wheel of Fortune will move slightly quicker. So we have two interesting cards. We have the 9 of Pentacles upright, and we have the 10 of Swords upright as well. So the 9 of Pentacles upright talks about somebody who's very confident, very self-assured, very practical, very successful. They're very abundant, probably love life as well, have a love of the good things of life in particular. This could be your energy, Libra, this could be the person or somebody in your life. But it's talking, because it is it is an Earth card, which doesn't make it a Libra card, but it does look like there's kind of the symbols. Actually, they look more like Mars energy on his, I don't know if you can see that, on his gown there. But it's very, there's an affluence about this card, this energy. There's a real kind of, so it is self-worth. So it's kind of like how you believe about yourself is kind of radiated outwards. There's still this strong sense of confidence. But it has come out with 10 of Swords. So it could be that you literally went from this energy to this, or you have been like really down and out. Just really, if you see the card there, he's literally got all those swords in his back. He feels as though he's been stabbed by everybody, like everybody who he knows. It's like nobody else could do any more damage to this person. It doesn't mean that everybody has stabbed you in the back, but it's kind of like that's how it feels. It feels like you've been betrayed. But the thing about the 10 of Swords that's very interesting, because it's a 10, there is an ending again. There is this finality that is coming through here. There is this kind of sense of, again, that ending because of this 10 of Fire here as well. So that's two tens, both completion energies, both ending energies. And of course the Wheel of Fortune is also a 10 as well. So that kind of adds to that cycle closing out. I wouldn't say it has closed out yet, but I would say that you are in that process. You're quite a long way down in that process. And when you get to March, Libra, we have the Sun. And it is like some happiness comes back into your life, joy comes back into your life, purpose comes back into your life. You feel revived, revitalized. This sense of, I can do this. And also this kind of sense of like, well, their loss is what's coming through here as well. For those of you that this relates to about a relationship, it doesn't have to be a relationship. It can also be a work-related situation, it could be family situation, friends situation. But it feels like there's this energy of like, well, that was their loss. Because it feels like you're kind of rising up and really kind of coming back into your own power here that you kind of lost in February. With a greater understanding of who you are as well. In many ways, this is a very masculine, active, dynamic energy, very doing energy, very kind of like, well, let's just get on kind of thing. But it does come out with the 5 of Air, 5 of Swords. So there can be elements of self-sabotage here. There can be, it feels like a sense of see here, she's literally walking on this tightrope. I don't know if you can see that tightrope on there, but there she is balanced, very poised on that tightrope. And I always kind of see it as this energy of like having to be very careful with your next step. So, sorry about this, lighting's terrible. So it is kind of saying that even though you've got this amazing major arcana energy here, it is kind of, there is this caution not to become too kind of above yourself is what I'm getting here, what I'm being told, not to get above yourself. Libra, not to kind of outstretch yourself, to know your limits, to know your limitations here, because you may feel okay, you may feel indestructible is what I'm being told during this period of time in March. You may feel as though you're kind of, you can do anything, like a superhero in a way, that you're capable of, which is good. Nothing wrong with that energy, but just not to overstretch yourself, not to overstep the line. Kind of be cautious in your actions, even though, I mean, the Sun card is one of the most fortunate cards in the tarot deck to come out, so it does promise good things. So let's see what the confirmation energy for you is here, Libra. That card jumped out at me. In fact, all three of these cards jumped out at me. The Empress, the Star, and the Four of Coins. Empress and the Star are both in reverse here. They're both reversed energies. So we'll just talk about these first. The Empress is an energy of well, it is abundance. There's something about these two coming out together, like the Empress is very much the feminine energy, but it's in reverse. It is ruled by Venus as well. So it is your energy here, Libra. The Venus energy. You are ruled by Venus. And again, it kind of fits in somehow with this warning as well of not over reaching. Because the Star card is in reverse as well. And the Star card is about your hopes, your fears. It can be to do with, your hopes, sorry. But hopes, destiny, a feeling of connection, but not when it's in reverse. When it's in reverse, it feels very disconnected, disjointed, as though you're not doing the right thing in the right way. And you've also got the Four of Coins here, which is upright. In fact, it's the only one out of these three energies which is upright. That light, I'm going to have to kind of see if I can shift that a bit, because it's very, very, very bright there. Oh my goodness, it's still really bright. Well, that's better. So yeah, this Four of Coins is saying that there's something that you're holding on to. It may be an old dream, an old wish. It could be somebody coming back into your life even, or trying to come back into your life. Somebody who you've had a strong connection with in the past. Somebody who you did have a lot of hopes, dreams, desires, wishes with. And they may be coming back because they can see how amazing you are at this time as well, because you're very dynamic, you're very kind of magnetic, you're attracting that kind of energy, if you like. You're kind of on top of your own world. full of creative energy as well, is how it's coming through. And the Empress is also creative energy. She's permanently pregnant with potential, but not when it's in reverse. When it's in reverse, it feels as though something, especially with this 4 here as well, like something is blocked, something is not connecting. But this feels like an old energy, because it's a kind of stagnant energy in many ways. He's got this coin on his head, so it's like literally like weighing him down, and then he's got this other coin across his heart as well, like shielding that energy. And he's got his 2 feet on these coins down here. It's like he's not releasing anything, he's not letting anything go. So this person, this could be the other person, Libra, it could be your energy, but there is a reluctance here, a strong reluctance to kind of keep things the way they are or go back to how things have been before. And that could be somebody who's wanting to come in and try and make things, like improve things, or kind of like convince you that they're different, that they've, you know, that they're, your hopes and your dreams and wishes are the same as theirs, and they feel like fated with you or connected with you. But they're coming from this kind of old, stagnant energy place, and I don't feel that you have that same energy. Like, it doesn't feel like a vibrational match on any level. But we do have the Emperor energy here. And the Emperor energy, as we move into April, April is very strong with this Emperor. Again though, he's in reverse. He's come out with the Ace of Earth here. So this Ace of Earth is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for growth, for something different, for something like this new direction up here towards something different. It's new. I tend to see it as new territory, kind of staking out your territory. With the stag is very much a kind of territorial creature. But the Emperor in reverse is kind of talking about a lack of enthusiasm, maybe, or a lack of desire here. Emperor energy is very much doing energy. It's very much about kind of creating concrete in the physical, very much manifesting in the like the Emperor builds empires, that kind of thing. It's very kind of like leadership or authority energy, but not when it's in reverse. When it's in reverse, it's not feeling its strength, and you've got both the Emperor and the Empress in reverse here. One's in March and one's in April. So let's see what the confirmation energy is saying there. When the Emperor's in reverse, it can be an energy of like controlling things, wanting to control things rather than letting things kind of come together naturally, or to flow naturally, or to grow or build naturally. It's like I have to do this the way I want to do it, which isn't necessarily always going to be the right way. For some of you, there could also be financial setbacks as well, with the Emperor in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles here. Yeah, the Emperor feels like it's an energy of not completely, how can I put it? It's maybe not listening to others' advice, being very kind of determined to do it your own way, go your own way, do it your own way. Because we also have the Four of Wands in reverse here as well. And the Four of Wands in reverse, it talks to me about instability. When it's upright, it's about stability. It's about bringing something together. But that's how it kind of feels. It does feel like this instability, like literally kind of like wanting to grow something, wanting something to be stable, wanting something to build on something here. But it's built on, basically it feels like it's built on like rocky foundations. It feels like the foundations aren't strong enough for whatever this endeavour is. It's like having to go and what's the word I'm looking for? Reassess the foundations of whatever the project is or whatever the situation is. It's like the foundations of the idea itself are not strong enough. They're not coming from a place of strength or a place of, it's like with this Four of Coins here, it could be coming from a place of stress and worry and lack of ever having more. So before I continue to continue shuffling, I will tell you that in May you have this potential for this new start, for this kind of leap into something new, which does feel like this energy here as well from April. The Fool is trusting yourself, trusting the bigger picture, trusting where you're going, trusting the universe, trusting that the universe has a plan. It knows where it wants you to go, it knows what it wants you to do. All you have to do is kind of allow that to happen, which I feel with this energy here, it's much more about you kind of trying to take control. And because of that, the foundations are, yeah, just kind of not solid enough. How can I put it? It's like not trusting in a bigger vision. or that your vision wasn't the right vision, that whatever it was that you were trying to bring together, Libra, or are going to try and bring together, Libra, in April, it feels as though you need to, like with these two cards here as well, it's like double check something. Foundations, I just keep getting foundations. It's like the foundations are not connecting, whatever this is to do with. They're not solid. There's something not solid about the foundations. And that kind of leads you into this energy here of wanting a new beginning, wanting something fresh in your life, wanting something that you can put your time, your energy and your effort into. And again, he's got the world in his hand, or like a football, which is kind of supposed to be the world in his hand here. So there's potential again. I mean, it's the full card, it's the 0 card, so it's kind of like leaping into the unknown, leaping into something completely new. And it comes out with the 2 of air, which to me is always my like hypnotic card, like following something. And with the Queen of Air here as well in reverse, it feels as though you don't have all the information about something here. There's something missing when it comes to the information, or you're not listening to somebody else who may be trying to give you important information about a situation, like with you leaping into this unknown. It's almost like saying kind of, because the 2 of air is decisions as well. But for me, it's very much this kind of hypnotic, trance-like following this path of this individual here, which may not necessarily be your path. This may be somebody else's dream, somebody else's wishes, which could also be these cards here as well. The Empress and the Star in reverse. It could be talking about other people's dreams and plans, and maybe that's why it's not coming together, because it's not your dream, it's not your foundational wish and desire, with this Emperor in reverse. But also there is this potential for new growth and new beginnings and new understanding. The aces always need to have somewhere to go. They're an energy that kind of comes in and it needs to have an outlet. It needs to be channeled into something. Otherwise it will just kind of fizzle out and disappear and become nothing. But these, I think the light's changing because they're not quite so glary, or maybe they are. Wishful thinking. So the Queen of Air could also be you not listening to your own inner voice, your own kind of voice in your head that's kind of trying to get you to listen before you maybe leap into this unknown path, this unknown energy, which may seem like a really good idea to you because you are kind of entranced by it, or it's kind of pulling you towards it, it's pulling you along with it. So there is this part of you that's kind of just trusting that process. But on some level, it feels as though there's also either, like I said, outside input that you're not willing to listen to, or it is your own inner like your own understanding of things. It's like you already know it, but you're kind of not taking any notice. Even though it is the air card, I do kind of see the air card as being very kind of in touch and in tune with these big wings here on the side of her head and the wise owl here. It's like, listen, you're not listening. And it is very much your energy again as well, Libra, being air energy. But in reverse, it kind of says that there's something you're not listening to, or you're not communicating about. It could also be a part of it as well. Okay, so we have the 5, and we have a 5 of Cups and the 3 of Swords here. So the 5 of Cups talks about, again, this kind of sense of sorrow, loss of something, and heartache. And it could be that somebody is trying to give you that kind of warning of not to jump into something with this Fool energy here. Because there is still this heartbreak that maybe hasn't been fully dealt with or recognized, or you may have a habit of leaping from one relationship into another relationship and just kind of ending up getting wounded each time. And there could be something like that happening here in May, where you're wanting to, sorry, Queen should be in reverse, where you're wanting to trust it, but this Queen is kind of recognizing the pattern, and you'll keep kind of saying like, oh, you know, that's not going to happen this time. That's not going to happen this time. I'm not going to end up in the same situation. I'm not going to end up feeling on my own, lost, with no cups to kind of look at except those that are spilt on the ground down here. So there is this energy of, yeah, if I was to put these cards with these here, they would turn out like this way. So it's almost like underneath it here, there's this sense of, maybe there's also a sense of something that is already kind of doomed from the start, but you're still kind of willing to take the risk on that and trust your instincts. But as I was saying, this Queen of Air and this 3 of Swords energy to me is kind of saying, like, you know, this is a warning. This is you being kind of shown that you're just going to go down that same path again. If you do this again, Libra, if you allow yourself to kind of not listen to outside information or inner information, inner kind of awareness. So in June, we have the Hanged Man, who is upright. So this is like a realization. And we also have the 2 of Fire, or the 2 of Wands again. So we had that earlier in January. So it's kind of come back round here. This 2 of Fire energy. And the thing about this Two of Fire energy for me is it does feel as though this person here is kind of just giving away her, what's the word I'm looking for? Giving away her personal kind of responsibility, maybe, in a way. Because she's riding on the back of this giraffe, and this giraffe's just kind of heading towards the edge of this cliff, which can also be this Fool energy here as well. But there's just this sense of trusting something else rather than taking that responsibility. It's like giving away that power. But there is this Hangman card here. So the Hangman card talks about higher, like, what's the best way to put it? Like a realization, like suddenly realizing something isn't right. Seeing things from a different perspective, getting a different view on something. And it kind of has this similar kind of a look about it for me, with these lines coming down from here as well. So it could be something that's kind of going back to that period of time, that April time of dealing with something or seeing something now in a totally different way to how you saw it previously. And maybe you have been given away that responsibility, or your own responsibility, or kind of expecting others to take responsibility for your life, for your destiny, for your hopes. Like buying into other people's rather than kind of focusing on your own. Focusing on your own dreams, your own wishes and desires and hopes. And I'm saying that because the Two of Fire is about this kind of new, because it comes after the Ace, so it's the energy of actually kind of starting something, putting the energy from the Ace into the Two, kind of creating something on a creative level, to bring something out of the imagination, so to speak, like out of that creative process. It's kind of driving that creative process. It's the next step. Like if you've been like hanging here for quite some time, just like looking for or hoping for something to kind of give you some inspiration, some realization, a new perspective on things, then this is the next kind of step after that, it feels like, for you in this card in June. So it feels a bit like responsibility in a way. Like lighting your own path rather than, like with this Two here, dancing to somebody else's tune or dance, or following somebody else's lead. This is saying, like, this is about responsibility. This is about your dreams, your desires, your creation in the world. you can bring into the real world. And we have the Death card here in reverse as well. So, Death card and the Hangman. There is something transforming here. There is definitely something that is dying within you. That maybe this is part of that process as well, because you had the Death card back in February. So maybe that's all still part of this process, but it is in reverse. So it is this long, slow process, and Pluto is going to retrograde, so he's going to go backwards over the same degrees that he's been over for the last, well, since October, when he last came out of his last retrograde, I believe. So there is this ongoing process of transformation, and with you again being in that square, it's challenging. It's a challenging process for you, Libra. Particularly those of you who've got anything at those later degrees. But all of you have been going through this process, because Pluto has been moving through Capricorn since 2008. So he's been affecting all Libras at some point, wherever your sun sign is, or your moon, or whatever, but particularly your sun, obviously. So there is this kind of transformational, deep transformational process that's taking place here as well. Very deep. It is like dying a death, literally like dying a death, like the person that you were, especially with this Hangman energy, the person that you were is not going to be the person that comes out from this. It feels like you're going to be, yeah, taking responsibility to build and create in your own world what you want, which may be very different. That's another thing about it. It may be very different to how you thought it was going to be, how you've always envisioned it to be. Libra. So as we move into July, we have the King of Fire. So it's literally like going from the 2 to the King. From June, when you're kind of coming out of this, or in this realization stage, to the King of Fire and the Justice energy here as well. So the King of Fire is very much passion. You see he's got this fire behind his head. He's also got this like transformational, there you go, you can see that kind of on his face. He's got like this kind of moth kind of webbing over his face. So that also to me talks about transformation on a deep level. Yeah, there's like this deep process, and it's connected to the heart as well. There's something that is connecting to this heart energy here, like a healing taking place, which could also be this here as well. This Hangman energy, death energy. There is a healing with this white rose on his flag. A purification, a purging, a clearing of what you no longer are, or what you no longer need in your life. That can be people, places, situations, but things that are no longer going to benefit you, basically. Purging, clearing it out. And I feel that that's also what that Hangman energy is doing there as well. So as you move into this energy with this King and this Justice card, the Justice card talks about things that have happened in the past that have been set in motion. So it's about the past creating your present, which then creates your future. So it's kind of like things catching up with you in some way from the past. It can be recent past, it can be past lifetimes, it can be past from years back, but it feels like that kind of energy of things. It feels like kind of finishing off things that you've set in motion here. Because it also feels as though with this King of Fire that you yourself are actually kind of changing and transforming, where you're no longer resonating from that same energy like previously, whatever it was, that situation that was back then in the past that has kind of caught up with you in some way in the future. It kind of feels as though you're no longer that same person who set that in motion way back whenever. And so you're no longer resonating on that same wavelength. So it's almost like it's kind of like, because it's the Justice card is upright as well, it's almost like it's kind of, you're not going to be that affected by it in that sense. And it does have scales of balance here, of course. So there is this kind of balancing out of the scales, balancing out of your own karmic actions, reactions. But it feels as though there's this kind of sense of learning and understanding about this energy as well. Like you're learning and growing and understanding about how your actions have created where you are now. Like that that's what I was talking about with this responsibility energy here as well, that you are that person, but you're not the same person, if you know what I mean. It's like you have moved on, you have grown, you have changed. For some of you, it could have something to do with legal matters, courts, divorces, anything to do with that kind of situation. It kind of talks about, for me, Justice talks about not being emotionally caught up in something, because she literally has her eyes sealed, and the reason for that is because she can't make decisions from an emotional viewpoint. She has to be, what's the word I'm looking for, she has to be neutral. She has to remain neutral in a situation, because the more emotionally caught up in it she gets, the more the scales are going to tip in a kind of personal way for herself, for Justice itself, if you understand what I mean by that. It's like Justice, that's why Justice is always shown as being blindfolded, because she needs to be able to make decisions from a place that isn't emotionally caught up in things or attached to something. And that, with this card here as well, is kind of talking about that heart energy. But it does feel to me as though there is this healing with this King of Fire here. Male or female, makes no difference. I'm not talking about the genders in the cards, I'm just talking about the energy that's coming through for me. And the fact that it's coming straight after this Hangman energy as well, and he's got all this kind of illumination around his head. It really feels like, Libra, that you are kind of seeing things from a very, very different perspective. You're really kind of getting to grips with things to do with your own life, your past experiences. So let's see what the confirmation energy is. We'll take that one, which is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So the Knight of Pentacles is a very steady, loyal energy. It's an energy of dependability. But again, when it's in reverse, it can feel like being put on. It can feel as though you're being kind of made to do things in a way that doesn't necessarily resonate with who you are. So there may be that element that is coming out here with this very kind of earthy knight. The Knight of Pentacles is very loyal. He's somebody who is called on when there's problems or issues. He's somebody who's very kind of dependable, as I was saying, dependable, loyal, stable. But it feels like when he's in reverse here, there's this sense of like it's been dragging on for too long, like something has been dragging on for too long that needs to be dealt with, and that could be dealt with legally. Here, Libra, you may literally have to do something legally here. But if you do, it's kind of saying that you're on the right side of things here. That it will be in your favour, but it may be something that is dragging on. Yeah, so we then have the Devil in reverse as we get into, where are we, June, July, August. So as we get into August, we find the Devil energy, and this is always to do with those kind of toxic energies that can keep us trapped in our fears. Because if you see there, he's in that cage, but the cage door is open, so it's only by his own will that he's continuing to stay in that cage. So the Devil, of course, is kind of representative of the mind in a way as well. Being trapped by our own thoughts, our own feelings about what other people may say, if we act a certain way or do something that goes against what they believe is the right way to be, the right way to act. And he is actually naked in that cage as well, apart from his hat. And he's still got his hat on his head. So he's also trying to cover up his nakedness, almost like an embarrassment, almost like being seen for who he truly is, and doesn't necessarily want to have to deal with that. This could be an energy that you are going to have to deal with yourself. It's come out with the Queen of Water and the Seven of Fire for you here, Libra. And the Seven of Fire is an energy of standing up for what you believe in, being unique. I mean, a unicorn is a unique creature, so it's like being unique. And all of these fireflies here kind of being or these little, not necessarily fireflies, but these little kind of creatures here kind of attacking this unicorn. Because that's what the Seven of Fire is about. It is about standing up for your own strong beliefs, opinions. And with the Queen of Water here as well, just kind of coming out of this deep slumber, it kind of feels as though you yourself, Libra, could be waking up to seeing things in a different way, possibly even seeing the world in a different way, seeing the poisons, seeing the toxic energy around you. And kind of, like I was saying, like standing up for who you are and not other people's, again, not other people's ideas of who you are, or keeping yourself trapped and small as well is what's coming through here as well. Keeping yourself trapped, small, like not wanting to be seen kind of energy. And particularly with this Queen of Water, who is very much kind of like, if you look at her, she's very ornate. And I can get a good picture. There you go. She's very ornate. She's covered in all these beautiful shells, and she is very loving. She's very giving. She's very nurturing. She's very deeply aware, deeply sensitive, very emotional. And this could be the side that is coming into your life. In that sense of Libra, for you, it's like awakening this side of yourself. It could be, like I was saying, the sensitive, as in psychic realm as well, like realizing that there is more than just the physical, because the devil does control the physical realm. He controls things like drugs, addictions, all of that kind of thing comes under the devil domain. The things that hold us trapped. And this is kind of saying to me that this is you kind of standing up for this side of yourself that is kind of awakening from this kind of deep slumber that maybe hasn't been allowed to be there before, that maybe has been kept down by family or society or situations, or like it's wrong, religious reasons perhaps, that it's wrong to kind of go into that deeper world of the unknown. But with that Seven of Swords there, this Seven of Fire, it does feel like something that you are standing up against, that you're standing like, as in the sense of you're standing up to this energy. You're standing up against other people's opinions of you, other people's views of you, how you should be, how you shouldn't be, what's right, what's wrong. So there is a deeper sense of awakening that is just kind of coming through, I feel, in August. Something that you're just kind of tapping into, perhaps, and allowing to be seen very slowly. Which, as I was saying, could well have been kept hidden all these years for fear. And we have in September the Six of Water here. And this is an interesting card because if you look in the water, you can literally see this like young version of this woman here. It is the inner child energy in this particular card. Nostalgia, longing, wanting things to go back to how they were, or needing to kind of, because if you see here, she's also hugging her belly there as well. I'll turn it out that way because it'll be easier to see. There you can see that she's kind of got this yearning, longing, kind of like, just like this feeling of something not being right. And there is this little girl or person, this little child version of herself, deeply buried in this water down here, in the deeper subconscious, because that's what water represents, the subconscious, the kind of psychic realm as well. And it has something to do with this energy here, this Queen of Water, this Queen of Cups, Queen of Love, and self-love. That's what's coming through for me on that from August to September, because you also have the Moon card here. So it's like something is starting to be revealed, because this is upright. It's I always see this as the full moon, and the full moon is always about something being seen, something being revealed. So something culminating as well with the full moon energy. But there's also this waterfall that is coming down here as well, and I'm kind of seeing that as very similar to this energy here, like almost like this. She is the waterfall that is connecting with this psychic realm, because the moon is all about intuition. It's about kind of knowing things on a deeper level, instinctively having some understanding of why things happen the way they happen, or tuning into this energy. It feels like you are becoming more aware of this energy, Libra. And also dealing with this inner child here, which I feel is also something to do with this inner, this child, this person here, or this Fool energy, because this is the Fool card here. In a way, this is the Fool in the cage. He started out here, and there he is in that cage, trapped by his own fears and doubts and negative beliefs about things. And it also has the Loss card here as well. The Five of Pentacles. And I see this as kind of like this is a personal loss, it feels like. Like not just a loss of, how can I put it? Like the Five of Pentacles. If you see, they're kind of walking through the snow there, which again is kind of the water realm, but it's frozen. Frozen water, frozen ice, so something isn't flowing. And it's the Five as well, so you've kind of got a connection to this energy again here as well, with this pentacle, these five, this pentagram here. And these 5 coins kind of making up the same, particularly if I turn it up in reverse, making up that same kind of energy here. So it's all pointing downwards to you, Libra, caught in this cage. So is in reverse. So it may be that you're going to feel as though you're kind of shut out and away from things while you're going through this process. You may feel as though people that you have known previously kind of like no longer are connecting with you, that you're no longer connecting with them. There could be this loss, this feeling of loss of, you know, it could be people that you've known for a long time, even with this child energy here in the water. It could be people that you've had long connections with. But as you're kind of, it feels like your intuition growing and your kind of awareness expanding. It's like leaving things behind that no longer fit into that kind of realm, that new realm that you're moving towards, Libra. And that may not be an easy thing for you to do, to walk away from these people that you've had strong connections with and been through maybe a lot of situations, not necessarily hardships and situations, but just kind of situations that kind of, you've been there for each other, shall we say, is what's coming through. You've kind of been there for each other and helped each other with things in life, but now you're kind of outgrowing or changing and transforming and becoming. It just feels as though there's a deeper level of awareness coming in there. And we have the Two of Earth, so that kind of talks to me about this need for letting go as well, because if you see here, I always see the Two of Earth as this kind of past and present energy with these balancing coins that she has here. She's balancing those coins, juggling, kind of trying to work out what's best for the situation. But I kind of see one as being the past energy. Is she going to bring it forward into her future energy? Does it belong in her future energy even? Because we also have, I've lost the other cards. That's crazy. Where did they go? Oh, here they are. Okay, I knew there was more. We have the Two of Water as well. The Two of Water talks about a connection with somebody, an intimate connection. It doesn't necessarily have to be a love connection, but it's a connection that you feel on a deep level with somebody. Again, water element, so emotionally connected to this person's situation. And then we have the Ten of Earth as well. And this is October now that we're talking about. We've moved into October. So the Ten of Earth talks about the earthly realm, the successful realm, building things up. But it also feels as though these are kind of like with these two lines of pentacles down there, almost like they're a sense of walls, like keeping you trapped, keeping you in. Again, it kind of has this similar energy to the Emperor here as well, with these two lines coming down here, and also this Hangman energy. But in the Hangman energy and in the Emperor energy as well, both of them feel more like they're kind of light connected in a way. More like vibrational frequency rather than solidness. This feels more solid, more like you know, this is what I was meant to do. I've done what I was meant to do. I've achieved what I was meant to do. I've been really good at it in the earthly realm. But am I happy? Do I want more? Also with this Two of Water, this can also be about wanting more. And the Messenger of Water in reverse as well. So this is the Knight of Cups energy, which does talk about wanting love, looking for love, but it's in reverse. So there may be this situation of where you're, and we've also got, sorry, the Judgment card as well, which is the Major Arcana energy that you have here in reverse. So it does feel as though with the Judgment card that something is coming to a kind of completion. It could also be you judging yourself here as well, Libra, because it's in reverse. This could be you being harsh on yourself. Again, we've got those two pillars there as well, which is interesting. And if I turn it up the other way, you can see that there are these two, these ghosts that are rising up from the grave. The Judgment card calls about releasing the past in many ways, forgiveness of yourself. But it feels with this Messenger of Water card that there's something here that you're not ready for or willing to open up to. This Two of Earth, Two of Water. Something is coming to a close with this Two of Earth. It's like something is rounding out, some kind of like completion that you've done there. Again, it feels like this success, but hasn't kind of fulfilled you completely. Like there's something missing, and that may be what this energy is here as well, that there's something missing with this Messenger of Water. Knight of Cups with this little seahorse there as well, because if you look as well, she's very very ornate as well. She's very well adorned, and this tiny little seahorse is kind of come in to give this message. And it feels, because it's in reverse, it feels as though it's not being accepted, like it's not being recognized, especially with this Judgment card in reverse as well. Like this could be something much kind of bigger, because the Judgment card does talk about the call from beyond the grave, shall we say, like the it's literally like, you know, letting go of your past, your demons, your the things that kind of keep you bound. And there is this beautiful phoenix in the background as well there. So it kind of talks about letting that go, transforming it, like releasing it and changing it. But when it's in reverse, it kind of feels to me as though there's something that is not being, like you're not allowing something in here. You're not allowing yourself to maybe forgive the past or forgive yourself in order to move forward. Because the Judgment card also comes before the World energy as well, which is like the final card in the deck. So it's before the cycle can complete. You have to kind of release all of this past connections. So the cycle needs to complete, is what I'm getting from that. I'm also going to stop shuffling them and actually talk about November, where we have the Strength card here, which is upright. So that's very positive, because that's talking about you finding that inner strength too. And it feels like release here with this 6 of fire. It feels like moving into the spotlight, into being recognized, being seen, being elevated above things. Rising up above things, rising up above, like possibly, what I get is this kind of sense of rising above this physical domain in a way, like in the sense of kind of seeing through it. With this Judgment card here as well, but there's still this kind of like something that's holding you back from completing that cycle completely. But this 6 of fire and the 4 of air in reverse, together with this Strength card, is an interesting combination, because the 4 of Swords, which is the 4 of air energy here, talks about taking a step back from something. And that could also have something to do with this Strength card, kind of knowing when's the best time for you to step back, step away from something before you come fully into your kind of strength, to kind of elevate something beyond where it's been so far, to elevate yourself beyond where you've been so far. It still feels like this energy of, like, because this is about being seen. So it feels like stepping into a place that you've been reluctant to go to, Libra, in some ways. And again, something to do with yourself here. So it's like finding this inner strength. And now that you've got this strength, you need to kind of allow yourself to rise above where you've been previously. Because this 4 of air here is in reverse, so it is a sense of the past energy in many ways, of holding yourself back, holding yourself down, not pushing forward with something, not having enough confidence in your own ability or your own strength to actually get to where you want to go. But this is kind of saying that that is shifting and changing. Again, for some of you Libras, it feels like it's going to be quite a dramatic change, but also it's going to have something more to do with that inner world, the inner realm. You have the Hermit in reverse in December, with the 7 of Earth and the King of Water. So again, there's more of this kind of watery, psychic realm, spiritual realm, self-love realm as well here. And also love for everything else. It's almost like tapping into something, because we have this 7 of Earth in reverse, and if you see here, he's got this little, there's this little fairy creature here who's kind of distracting his attention. I always see this as kind of distracting things, but there's also all these pentacles on his shirt as well, and yet he has these feathers in his hair, and it kind of feels like this is kind of the grounding side of things, and it is in reverse, so it kind of feels like rising above all of that. but you're still kind of connected very much in the physical realm, if you understand what I mean. Because you have the Hermit in reverse, so there is this kind of longing or yearning or looking for, needing answers on a much bigger scale of understanding. The Hermit card does talk about, again, kind of elevation, about going up another level. It's a bit like graduation. I always see the Hermit as a graduation kind of card, going beyond what you've learnt so far into the next learning process, and that's possibly what this is here. There's a sense of, with this Seven of Pentacles, or Seven of Earth, with this fairy, again it's kind of that spiritual realm, that calling from another dimension. And with this King of Waters, the kind of connecting energy here, shall we say, it kind of feels like there is this opening up, like something is opening up on a deeper level here, Libra, because the King of Water is, like I was saying, it is love, it is that kind of searching for, and you've got both the King and the Queen here as well. But this is about your inner about your inner depths. Which is what the Hermit is kind of saying here. There is these hidden depths, this side of yourself. Again, it feels like, see this kind of king's holding out his hand to this little fish here with complete kind of love and compassion and wanting to take care of it and nurture it and love it and befriend it. So it does just feel as though kind of tapping into this kind of energy of compassion and nurturing and loving and caring, and you're going, it feels like, on a deeper journey to discover, and almost like, I wouldn't say turning your back completely on the physical realm. It doesn't feel like that. It's not like you're going to go and become a hermit literally somewhere, but it feels as though this is going to have less influence on you than it has previously. Like before, it's been kind of the driven or the driving force, the very kind of physical, pentacle, financial, that kind of realm, material realm of kind of seeking your pleasure within the material realm. But here the kind of the Hermit is kind of saying, and I feel as though the Hermit energy has kind of been around for a long time, with this Hangman down here as well. And it kind of started perhaps even back in kind of May with this Fool energy. This is a maturing, as I was saying, a leveling up, a kind of recognizing that there is more, needing deeper answers, needing, I don't know why I've got the Knight of Pentacles in my hand, I didn't intend to pick that one up. Sorry about that, Libra. Yeah, needing more, needing deeper answers, looking for answers on a deeper subconscious level, because the King of Cups works through the subconscious. He works through his emotional intelligence of understanding through feelings. So that's the energy that I have for you at this time, Libra. I'm going to finish that part of the reading there and quickly pull you a Namaste blessing card. to see what the blessing cards would like to say to you at this time. But the whole of the reading seems to be a sense of you kind of going onto this deeper level and being dissatisfied in some ways with the physical realm and what it has to offer here, Libra. That's the kind of message that's coming through for me for 2022. What 2022 is about for you with this deep transformational change that's been taking place for a long time for some of you. And for others, it's going to be a lot more intense as well. During 2022, into 2023 even. Aha! So, we have 2 blessing cards. We have the blessing of meditation, which is kind of this hermit energy here as well. Turn it up the right way, you can see that there's very kind of similar look with these 2 cards here. So maybe that's also something that is going to be important for you. The blessing of meditation. It says your window of perception is cleansed and for a moment you see life as it truly is. Well, this would be this energy here. Infinite and eternal. Meditation will help you rise above any situation and event and see things clearly. What usually seems chaotic and disorderly can seem the opposite. Know there is divine order in your life. So that's interesting because that's kind of what I was getting from this energy here, was rising above things. And the other card we have here is Sunlight Blessing. A ray of light bursts through the clouds of uncertainty and darkness transforms to light. A new day is born and the first buds of spring appear. I feel that that's this energy here, which follows on. So this is kind of talking to me about June and July in particular, from June going round to December in particular. A new day is born and the first buds of spring appear. You are blessed with the birth of something new. A new season of your life begins with this very special blessing. And that's kind of this full energy here, as I was saying, this kind of leap into the new, into the unknown. And this transformational energy, it is like something is coming to an end. There is a completion, there is a fullness here. And I mean fullness as in wholeness here, rather than full as in to act the full, be the full. So let's see what we have from the I can never remember what these cards are called, ever. I don't know why. So independence. The more you learn to feed yourself on the inside and care for the inner child, the more free-standing you become. Help me feed and love this inner child, dear Lord. Well, there we go. That's this energy here, which I was talking about earlier. This inner child energy that you're going to stand up and protect for who they are. And maybe that's also something that this is talking about as well, Libra, is that there is this part of yourself that you haven't been able to integrate or be because you had to kind of lock it up in this cage. And it's still kind of locked up in that cage, and now it's time for you to release it. To kind of go back into that childhood of how you were and how you felt when you were really young, because this is kind of talking about that for me. So I'm going to finish the reading there and say that I hope that it has been of some help and some benefit to you. If you have enjoyed it, please could you give me a thumbs up, because it does really help me to grow my channel. It just lets YouTube know that people are listening to my readings and paying attention, or giving it some attention, which is really helpful for me, because the algorithms on YouTube kind of tend to just ignore otherwise. So that's me asking please to help me build my channel. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, could you do that as well? If you have subscribed, thank you very much for doing so. I have had a few more subscribers lately, so thank you very much for that. I do really appreciate it, as I am really trying to get this channel to grow. I'm still putting out the 2022 readings, so if you're interested in finding out your moon, as I was saying earlier, your rising, as well as your well, you know your sun sign obviously, but your moon and your rising, and also if you're a cusp energy of Libra as well, you're going to be either end of your sign. So you could also watch the video previous to or after, previous being Virgo, and the Scorpio reading that I will be putting out next as well. But if you're looking for more information, then there's also a playlist as well, so you can check out them. I don't have any times or dates on my readings, I just have titles. So if anything grabs you, vibrates with you, resonates with you, and you think, yes, that's my reading, then it doesn't matter when it was put out, it is actually still for you. So I think that's everything. Oh, there is a little bell. If you subscribe, there will be a subscription button on the video, and you can tap that and the bell will come out, and you can then decide whether or not you want to see my videos as and when I put them out. And also, please comment, leave me a comment to let me know how you feel about what I'm saying, the message that I'm putting out there, and whether you enjoy them or whether you don't enjoy them. It would just be nice to get some feedback and to kind of connect with people. So I think that's everything. Again, thank you very much for listening to the end of this and for coming over to my channel. Please take really good care of yourselves at this time, and hopefully I will see you again soon.